नमस्कार, आप सभी का एक बार पुनः स्वागत है। मैं हूं राहुल और आप देख रहे हैं PME Vidya Channels and NCERT's official YouTube channel. This is the time when we bring you the live telecast of webinar in which we talk about very important topics. And today we are celebrating Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas. This is the entire week, I think, and I'm sure today is the day third of this Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas celebration. And today the topic of discussion is very important and it's a part of our daily life. The topic is social media crimes. We are into social world nowadays. We may get notifications on and off on our mobile phones all the time. So this is the program for channel 6 to 12, right? So you're watching it online, and if you have any questions related to your social media handles and any kind of safety and security in the cyberspace, feel free to send your live questions, answers, questions for our expert on YouTube channel, which is NCERT official. So we have Mr. Sakshar Duggal. He's an advocate in Delhi High Court and an emerging technologies expert. Mr. Duggal, namaskar and a very warm welcome in the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure today's session will be very fruitful for all the viewers, all the students, especially those who are into social world. So what is there for us in this today social media crimes session?
Well, there are different aspects to it, and the best part is that, in fact, I will call it as the irony that everyone today is on social medias, but no one actually knows the basic do's and don'ts of social media that we have to adhere to.
Okay, right. So there is some, there must be some introduction of do's and don'ts.
Exactly.
Okay.
So today I'll be covering all of this in my presentation.
Okay, let's go ahead then, please.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Please.
So good evening, everyone, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And first, I would just like to give a small introduction. So in today's world, we all are familiar with things like WhatsApp, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat. And I'm 100% sure that every single person on this planet is they very well know about these apps, even if they don't use them, but at least they know about them. And 95% of the whole population in the world, they use these apps. And today it has become a vital, I would say a vital platform. These platforms are so damn vital for us that we actually can't live without them. But with every good technology, there are some cons to it. With every pros, there are some cons. So that's why the topic is here today. What are these social media crimes all about? Just a second.
Very helpful and very I must be I must be very engaging. I think it must be very engaging for all of us. Don't go away, please. So are you ready, Mr. Duggal?
Yeah, definitely.
Please go ahead.
So before starting, I would just like to give you a brief landscape as to what exactly is happening in this space. So a few clips that you can see. Number one, jilted lover blackmails girl with her photos on social media, lands in jail. So basically, this was a live case where this news is quite recent, right? 10th November. And yesterday's news. So in this case, what happened was that there were girlfriend boyfriend, okay, a typical case that we can say, and slowly and gradually the boy proposed to the girl, but the girl was not ready for marriage straight away. She wanted to give time.
Okay.
And I don't know what happened to the boy's ego. He got hurt, and what happened. So obviously they both shared some intimate moments together, but the boy used these pictures to actually blackmail her.
Right.
That was the worst part. And slowly and gradually he was blackmailing her, and he was asking for money, and at the end of the day the girl actually had to report, and the boy was sent to jail. Another case, cybercrime police arrest 2 foreigners for dumping women on social media. So this was a clear-cut case where these, I would say the cyber criminals, they were actually extorting money, and it was rupees 2.2 lakhs that they extorted from a lady, where they actually were impersonating themselves. Impersonating, for everyone, it basically means that you're acting like someone else. So they were acting like tax authorities, and they were actually taking out money from this individual who was a foreign resident, and he or she obviously had no idea about the Indian rules at that time. Well, in Pune, a teenager jumps to death after sextortion on social media, accused still at the large. Well, this is the worst part of these social media crimes,
Right.
when actually someone is forced to commit suicide. In short, in this case, the boy had, without the permission of the girl, let me say that again. Without the permission of the girl, the boy actually clicked her pictures, private pictures, and he was actually blackmailing her that he would definitely circulate these pictures on her respective social media platforms. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, the girl had no option but to commit suicide, because she could not face such a situation where actually her pictures of her private parts could be shown to her family members and her friends as well.
Right.
Well, this is a very interesting news clip which says that over 100% increase in cybercrime in Delhi during 2020 and 2021. Just imagine, in the last year, that is from 2020 to 2021, there has been a 100% increase in cybercrimes. And definitely, if we all know that during COVID, everyone's best friend was the internet, right?
Internet, right.
We were spending more time on the internet compared to anything else. So definitely, the internet became a fertile ground for these cyber criminals to commit these acts. Well, some more clips. Now, this is another interesting clip which says Saudis release US woman arrested for Twitter posts, family says. So, in short, basically, in this post, an individual who had just shifted to Saudi Arabia, she had not gained the citizenship. She wrote, she was unhappy about the law. So she just basically, she expressed herself on Twitter. Well, that's not wrong. But her expressing was actually in a very derogatory manner towards the government as well. And the Saudi government, we all know that they are very much proactive in taking actions. So they straight away took action, and the US woman she was arrested. So basically, through this news clip, we can easily say that what kind of an impact these social media platforms have, and whatever we are writing on these platforms, we should actually be careful as to what words we are using, what kind of a way we are expressing our thoughts, because that's very much important.
Right. We have to be more, we have to be more careful in our social life as well, and on social media platforms as well, as we keep ourselves in our daily life, I must say.
Exactly.
Right. Please go ahead.
Now, this is a very important clip for our users, which is 1930 is the new helpline number against cybercrimes. Netizens share their experience. So this is a very important point that everyone should note. Whenever they are faced with any kind of an online fraud, I'm sure during COVID, especially during COVID, many people must have at least heard about these cases where through an OTP or through through UPI, a person's money has been transacted, right, without his or her permission. So if any such kind of if you witness any such kind of a case, or you hear someone that he or she is facing such a problem, then you have to, within first 24 hours, let me repeat it again, within the first 24 hours, you have to report on this number, that is 1930. This is the new number for the National Cybercrime Helpline, which actually deals with such cases. Well, another case where through social media, the victim was actually being, he was actually being blackmailed, and about 7 lakh rupees were taken from her account. So just imagine the kind of impact these social media platforms have in our lives. And at the same time, as I said in the beginning, if we don't know the basic do's and don'ts of this game called social media, then we are actually into trouble. And that's why today I've got this presentation, so that at least you can understand what kind of different social media crimes are there, and specifically our audience, that is from class 6 to 12th. This is the youth, this is the future of our country, and they spend most of their time in social medias. Well, let me be very much clear. Spending time on social media is not bad, because if you use it effectively, that definitely is it's a fantastic tool. But at the end of the day, when you know the pros of the technology, you should also know the cons as well. That's why you should know what kind of social media crimes are happening in these days, and what kind of practical steps you can take so that you can tackle these kind of crimes? Well, in today's presentation, we will be discussing about the definition of cybercrime, what are the major types of cybercrimes, definition of social media cybercrimes with examples, salient features of social media crimes, concept of cyberbullying with examples. It's a very interesting topic, and specifically it's directly related to social media crimes as well. Then we would cover who is a cyberbully, signs of a cyberbully, role of children and parents, practical tips to safeguard yourself against social media crimes, and conclusion. So number one, what is cybercrime? According to Merriam-Webster dictionary, cybercrime is a criminal activity such as fraud, theft, or distribution of child pornography committed using a computer, especially to illegally access, transmit, or manipulate data. Well, this is in the typical legal language, but to make it simple, I would just say any crime that is done on a through the help of internet or any device, that becomes a cybercrime. No matter your what is your age, what is your background, what kind of technology you're using, when are you using, why are you using. A cybercrime is simply a crime committed with the help of technology and internet. Well, major types of cybercrimes. Initially, when we started looking at cybercrimes a couple of decades back, I'm talking about 20 years back, which is the early 2000s. Broadly speaking, cybercrime could be divided into three broad categories. Number one was cybercrimes against property, second, cybercrimes against persons, and third, cybercrimes against nation. So let's keep it very much simple. Cybercrime against property is basically when property here means your computer, your device is your property. So things like hacking, damaging your computer source code is actually damaging your property. So that's why it's called cybercrimes against property. Second is cybercrimes against persons. So that's very much simple. Cyber defamation, cyber stalking, cyber harassment, cyberbullying are such examples. Last but not the least, we have cybercrimes against nation. I'm sure many of us must have watched these kind of movies where we are seeing that cybercrimes, when actually the cyber criminals are working to actually attack a nation's maybe security or electricity, something that would actually impact the nation, right? So that's cybercrime against nation, which is cyber war or cyber terrorism that we call it. Now, what are social media cybercrimes? Well, we know what are cybercrimes, but let us now go to the basic definition of social media crimes. So social media crimes are primarily done on the social media for the purpose of variety of criminal activities. Examples of social media crimes are cyberbullying, cyber stalking, email phishing, online job frauds, online matrimonial frauds, and fake profile circulation as well. So in short, any crime done with the help of social media is actually called a social media crime. And as I said in the beginning, we spend most of our times on social medias. And let me tell you another thing. I think that's very much evident, but still I can make this clear. Everyone, I repeat, everyone, whether it's a child who's in 6th or 7th standard or a person who is 50 plus, everyone spends 1/3 of their time on social media, whether it's for work or for leisure or for any such purposes, maybe for entertainment as well. But social media has become a vital part of our lives, if I can say that. And if it is a vital part of our lives, then definitely we should know everything about it, and we should know the practical steps we can take to safeguard ourselves from such crimes. So social media, as I said, has become an integral part of our lives. It's the new way of communicating, sharing, and informing people about the events in our lives. With the emergence of social media, a new distinct category of the cybercrimes emerged, that is social media crimes. These are crimes that are primarily done on the social media for the purposes of variety of criminal activities. Now coming to the concept of cyberbullying, and I think this is the most important topic of this presentation. Why? Because any crime, whether any social media crime, whether it's done on WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, that includes cyberbullying. We all know what is bullying, right? We have heard about the bullying, cases of bullying in schools, in corporate world as well. But
Yes.
cyberbullying is something different. So let's go to the basic definition of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, in simple terms, can be defined as bullying that takes place over digital devices like cell phones, computers, or tablets. Cyberbullying can occur through any social platform. It can also occur through SMS, text, apps, forums, or gaming, where people can view, participate, or share content. So basically, in short, any bullying that is done with the help of internet and certain devices like cell phones, computers, or tablets, that is called cyberbullying. And
As
let me tell you,
as as
cyber,
as you are
yes, sir.
discussing cyberbullying, one word came into my mind, which is very well known in the cyberspace nowadays. That is trolling,
Exactly.
right? So I think this is something new or not?
Well, trolling is actually that's a first of all that's a very good question.
Hmm.
Trolling is not new, but I'm sure many of us have heard trolling when we talk about celebrities, right?
Right.
We always troll celebrities.
Hmm.
But yes, we troll celebrities, but
Yes.
the difference is that trolling also happens one-to-one basis as well.
Hmm.
In a case of a celebrity, the celebrity can't file a case because lakhs and lakhs of people are trolling him or her.
Yes. Right.
But in the other scenario,
Hmm.
a single person can also be trolled. For example, he or she can be bullied maybe because of their looks or because of their weight or any
Right.
other thing which can actually be used to demoralize them.
Right.
The other person can actually troll them on these kind of platforms and through these devices, and that's where the concept of cyberbullying comes.
Right, as you rightly mentioned, when we talk about celebrities, so trolling makes news, and we have seen such series and movies on based on trolling only. So this is really really harmful for all the kids as well, those who are into cyberspace. So this is very important. So let's move ahead. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So moving forward, cyberbullying includes, amongst others, sending or posting images of the other person and causing embarrassment and humiliation to that person. Cyberbullying may not sound very important, but in reality, stopping cyberbullying is the need of the hour. Well, let me give you a very simple example. If, for example, if you take a person's picture and just crop his or her face and put it on the face of a donkey, and you're circulating that picture on the internet, you may find it very much funny, but at the end of the day, that is called cyberbullying. That is called trolling. And cyberbullying is a major crime. Why? Because at the end of the day, you are actually demoralizing the other person, you are attacking his or her self-esteem, and the other person actually feels humiliated in front of many people, his or her friends, classmates, teachers, and I don't know what not. So cyberbullying has some major impacts, negative impacts that we actually tend to forget about. Well, another news clip which says Clay Thompson, he's a famous basketball player. He apologizes to video game influencers for cyberbullying comments. Now, this is a bit reverse case. As I said, trolling happens of celebrities. Here, something different happened. The celebrity himself, he passed some comments on a video game influencer, which were actually coming under the ambit of cyberbullying, and after that, he definitely had to apologize for the same.
Right.
With cyberbullying linked with suicidal thoughts and attempts in young adolescents. So as I said, this is the worst part of cyberbullying. I can say the worst part. Why? Because whenever a person is cyberbullied, number one, they tend to not share it with anyone. They think that okay, this will get finished, but that's not true.
Right.
Number two, if you just try this option of ignoring the other person, well, that may or may not work. But if the other person doesn't stop, then your self-esteem is getting damaged every single day. A child feels alone. He or she feels that okay, no one understands me, and this guy is actually humiliating me every single day. But let me tell you, this is a very important advice for every school student, and in fact every college student as well. Please, please share it with anyone whom you trust, whether it's your parent, your sibling, your relative, your best friend, any such person. Because if you share it, first of all, number one, psychologically you will feel very much light. Number two, while sharing, the other person knows, and you both can actually tackle the bully as well. because if you tend to ignore it, then slowly and gradually cyberbullying results in the victim's suicidal thoughts. The victim feels that he or she is not capable of anything and suicide is the only option left, which is the harsh reality. 85% of Indian children have experienced bullying, survey shows. Look at that, 85%.
Yes.
That's a huge, huge number.
Yes.
And why 85%? You must be shocked. Well, there are a few different kinds of categories of people that come under this 85%. Number one, who know that they are being bullied, but they don't say anything. Number two, who know that they are being bullied and they raise some sort of voice. Number three, which is the best, I would say the most interesting category, is that they are being cyberbullied, but they don't even know that this is a crime. They feel, okay, it's a norm. It's a norm to actually humiliate the other person on social media. It's a norm to abuse the other person on social media without any such reason. It's a norm to actually pass derogatory comments to the other person on social media. But let me tell you, my friend, this is not normal. There is a big difference between a group of friends who are just joking with each other and another example where a person is actually passing personal comments to you on a social media platform. If that kind of a thing is happening, then definitely, unfortunately, you are a victim of cyberbullying, but don't feel bad. The catch is that you have to take action as soon as possible. Well, another news clip, it says, mom says Shark Tank. So this Shark Tank is not the Shark Tank India, but the original Shark Tank, that is Shark Tank US. So mom says Shark Tank appearance led one cyber bullies attacking a 7-year-old daughter. Just imagine, a girl who's just 7-year-old, but unfortunately she is a very the ideal victim for a cyber bully, because a 7-year-old girl has no idea how to tackle, how to deal with things. So definitely he or she becomes the ideal victim for a cyber bully to attack. The former eBay employee sentenced for aggressive cyber stalking campaign. Look at that. eBay is a big company where a former employee was actually sent to jail for cyber stalking. Cyber stalking is, this is a big shock to everyone, but the typical stalking that we do on the internet, there is a very, very thin line between stalking and cyber stalking. Stalking involves, it's a level up than stalking, but unfortunately, a lot of people today are they don't even know whether they are stalking or cyber stalking. So you are doing the wrong thing, unfortunately. So this stalking and everything is actually bad, specifically when the other person knows that, okay, my profile is being stalked every single day and he or she doesn't feel safe. That's where what I call it as cyber stalking.
Okay.
Well, a techie is arrested for cyber stalking and harassment of a women. A techie, unfortunately, people from the tech industry who know the technology, they know very well what are the pros and cons, and if they act properly, they can do wonders. But look at that. In this case, a techie arrested for cyber stalking and harassing a women. That's what I'm saying. He was harassing her, he was cyber stalking her, and that's why he was arrested. Now, who is a cyberbully? A cyberbully can be defined as a person who uses the cyberspace as a medium to cause bullying online. A cyberbully can be from any country, any age, any gender, which simply means that anyone can be a cyberbully on the internet. Some of them are mentioned below. These are kinds of examples of cyberbullying: posting any kind of humiliating content of the victim, stalking by means of cell phones, laptops, etc., threats of child pornography, hacking into the victim's account, and extending threats to commit acts of violence. Well, this is just a GK point, which is Ryan Halligan case was the first case in the history of cyberbullying that happened in US in 2003. And unfortunately, because the law was not developed properly at that time, so not much was done for the victims, because definitely justice can only be given when a proper law is there in place.
Okay.
Now, this aspect is very much important. That is signs of a cyberbully. We always tend to ignore these signs. But through this presentation, my job is to actually sensitize you It's to actually make you learn what kind of signs are there of a cyberbully. So if for example, in future, these signs actually match with a person, then definitely you should be on guard. So these signs are not always visible. That is why these have to be taken into account. It is important for the parents to have close observation on the child, since there are a lot of signs from which one can interpret that the child is facing the problem of cyberbullying. Some of these signs of cyberbullying may vary but may include as follows: avoiding school or gatherings, changing moods or behavior, sleep or appetite, withdrawal from family members, friend circle, and other activities, wanting to stop using this computer or cell phones, avoiding discussions about computers, social activities, social media, being emotionally upset during or after the use of the internet. Or the cyberbullying is, I can easily say that cyberbullying is actually a phenomena where the person who is the victim is experiencing a number of negative feelings like confusion, dissatisfaction, vulnerability, humiliation, and I don't know, many more. Sometimes the student who is being bullied feels as if the entire world knows about what is going on with them. At times, the stress of dealing with cyberbullying can cause kids to feel like the situation is going out of their hands.
Right.
Since cyberbullying is done in cyberspace, one knows that once something is posted on a social media platform, then it will always be out there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, anything posted on any social media, whether Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and even if you think, okay, I can just post a picture and I can delete it. No, nothing gets deleted on any social media. In fact, let me rephrase that sentence. Nothing gets deleted on the internet. Good or bad, internet doesn't care. Nothing gets deleted. Everything can be retrieved very, very easily.
Okay.
Therefore, when the cyberbullying occurs in the form of nasty posts, text messages, humiliating messages, etc., it can lead to intense feeling of humiliation in the person who is the victim. Cyberbullying can also cause a self-complex, which is quite evident with the repercussions of what cyberbullying can cause. If the person is constantly being bullied online, as he has to face a lot of nasty comments due to which his or her self-confidence is just shattered. This can easily be shown in his or her daily exercises. For example, if a person is fat and there would be a lot of nasty and humiliating posts posted on the physical appearance of the person, the self-confidence of that person will automatically be very low, and this would later result into depression. Generally speaking, people consider depression as a novel thing, but technically speaking, depression is actually a psychological disorder. Victims of cyberbullying often feel depressed since the cyberbullying erodes one's self-esteem and self-confidence. In addition, there is a lot of stress of coping with cyberbullying on a regular basis. It diminishes the feelings of happiness and contentment. Role of children and parents, another important part of this presentation, because it's the partnership of children and parents together that actually helps in dealing with such kind of cyber crime cases. Our Center Against Cyberbullying, this basically is an organization that we have where we actually try to do different seminars in different schools and colleges to actually make them aware of what are these social media crimes, how can children act in order to tackle these kind of crimes. So we have conducted a lot of interviews with children who are in schools and with their parents as well. After interviewing and interacting with them, one trend is very much clear. That is, there are several factors which people usually don't talk about that are the actual reasons for the rampant increase of cyberbullying. There is always a gap between the children and their parents, especially in the cases of cyberbullying. There are a lot of things that are going on in a victim's mind that have to be discussed. There are some points which both the parents and their children should keep in mind whenever an incident of cyberbullying occurs. In such a situation, children are usually in a state of confusion whenever they face or become the victims of cyberbullying. Often, half of them don't even know that it is a crime. Like I was mentioning in the previous slides, that they don't even know that they are a victim of such a crime, which actually is in the cyber world. It exists, right? And they are being victimized. They think their parents will not be able to understand what is happening. In some cases, they are scared, for example, when the child himself is guilty of sharing explicit pictures or content and with the result faces threats in the form of cyberbullying. Sometimes children feel that their parents would punish them, and as a result, children often think like that and act accordingly since they are immature, and which further leads to complication of problems. In case of parents, they always want the best for the child, that's for sure, and want to protect their child from this harsh world. But the fact is that sometimes they have to understand the child's problem with an open mind. If you discover that your child is being a victim of cyberbullying, offer comfort or support to him or her by talking about any bullying experiences you had in your childhood, which might help the child feel less alone. You should praise your child for doing the right thing by talking to you about it. Let your child know that it is not his or her fault, and the bullying says more about the bully than the victim. Parents should let someone at school or anywhere, for example, principal or a teacher, should actually tell them about the situation. Many schools in school districts often have protocols regarding cyberbullying. In some schools, there are also specific cells to deal with these matters. I think that encouragement, support, and comfort is the key to the partnership between the parents and the children.
Right.
Now, if you're able to give your child that in that situation, means if you're able to give your child the comfort in that specific situation when the child really wants, where he has all sorts of troubles and confusions, then this can really be a game changer, and it can help you to create a trust bond between you and the child. Now, the most important part, that is the practical tips to safeguard yourself against these social media crimes. Well, throughout this presentation, I have not tried to actually explain you. I've just given a brief about what kind of social media crimes are there. But my major focus was on to make you understand that what kind of things are actually happening, number one, in this cybercrime landscape. Number two, what kind of cyberbullying examples are there, and we don't even know that we are victim of these crimes. That is the most important part. And as that figure said, 85% of the population is under the youth population has in their lifetime till now, they have definitely faced a cyberbullying situation. So now coming to the practical tips. Number one, block profiles from public searches. Second, restrict who can find you via online search. Limit what people can learn about you through searching on net. Log out after each session. Well, in short, basically don't leave a lot of footprints on the internet. What I mean about this is that don't put every single activity that you do on the internet. Don't put, like, for example, today I've gone here, okay, day after tomorrow I'll go there, this and that, because whatever activity you are putting on social media, that is actually becoming a roadmap for the cyber criminal, that okay, this person hates such kind of a thing. For example, if you post on social media that okay, I'm scared of maybe ghosts, okay, I'm really scared of ghosts, or another example can be that okay, you post on social media that you're very much sensitive when anyone talks about your weight. Okay, you have actually given the answer to the cyber criminal. Now he or she knows that what is your weak point, and he or she will attack that point, and that's where a clear-cut case of cyberbullying will happen.
Okay.
Next is don't share your social media credentials too easily. Don't accept friend requests from unknowns. Don't click suspicious links. Keep the privacy settings of your social media profile at the most restricted levels, especially for public and others.
Right.
Remember that information scattered over multiple posts, photographs, status, comments, etc. made together reveal enough about you to enable a fraudster to steal your identity and defraud you. This is another aspect. If I am a cyber criminal and I have done my homework properly, if I can, through your photos, status, comments, everything, I will be able to put a map as to what kind of a person you are, and then I can commit the crime of identity theft, where, for example, someone may, if I'm posting everything about me on social media, then the other person knows about me, what kind of a person I am, and he or she can just take my picture and can act as if he or she is Sakshar Dugal, and they can chat with my friends and
Right.
everywhere, and they may even defame me
Right.
just for their sadistic pleasures. So apply maximum caution while sharing anything online. Last but not the least, the conclusion, which is due diligence and caution has to be your mantra on social media. Don't trust anyone on social media. Try not to engage in crimes on social media. Try not to leave behind your electronic footprints, which can be against you. So basically, electronic footprints is just the proofs, the easy posts, the comments, the easy, I would say, things that can be a roadmap for the cyber criminals. Don't do that. Social media is not about nuance by hurting mentality, but try to take care and diligent that you don't get stolen in criminal exposures. So that clearly means that social media is not bad, but these things you have to be very much careful of the cons of social media that are actually prevalent today in today's time. Adopt cybersecurity as a way of life, including social media. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of it, I would just like to say one thing that first of all, this is my below is my LinkedIn account details. You can go and follow me, and this is my email ID. If you have any questions, any doubts, I would love to answer them. And last but not the least, I would just like to say that internet is a fantastic technology. We all know that it has changed our lives completely. It's fantastic. Social media is fantastic. I'm not against any social media. But what I'm trying to say is that you have to be careful. You can't just see the pros of a technology and you can ignore the cons. Because if you'll ignore the cons, then someday or the other, you will have to face the consequences.
Right.
You will have to face these kind of crimes. You will be in if you will ignore these cons, then unfortunately one day you will be in such a situation where you are a victim of a cyber crime, and I don't want that. And I'm sure with these kind of some practical insights through this presentation, I was able to help you, to sensitize you, as well as to give you some specific points that you can actually adopt to, and they can be they can be the call of action for you in the future. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Sakshar. This was really a deep dive into the world of social media, and I'm sure this will really help our audience as well. Mr. Dhananjay would like to ask you a simple question, and his question is bully similar to cheat?
Well, thank you, sir, for that question. Well, there is a significant difference between the two. Cheating is when you are actually cheating is, for example, cheating and identity theft somewhere go hand in hand. When you are actually dishonest, you're acting dishonestly, right? You're acting dishonestly, you are lying. Cheating is, for example, if today I have a friend called Aman, okay, and if a cyber criminal uses my identity and goes to Aman that, okay, Aman, I am Sakshar and I am in need of money. I am doing identity theft, but at the same time, I'm cheating as well. I'm cheating Aman that, okay, I am Sakshar Dugal, but that is a cyber criminal, right? And
Right.
Aman, in his good faith, he gives the money to the cyber criminal, and the cyber criminal runs away. So that is cheating. But bullying is evidently the person is saying that, okay, I'm the bad guy and I'm going to target you. I'm going to bully you. I'm going to humiliate you to such an extent where I can just get satisfaction from that. I can feel a sense of power, and the other person's self-esteem goes for a 6.
Okay, thank you very much. So hope Dhananjay ji, you will have your answer now. So moving ahead, sir, one of your slide quoted that there there is a rise of 100% in the cases of social media crimes in between 2021 and 2022, right? So how we can perpetuate these crimes against social media users in today's world?
Well, sir, this has a very simple answer to it, which is I give this example every time. We all know how to drive, and even if we all don't know how to drive, we at least have been in a car, right? And we all know that there are certain rules and regulations to drive a car. If we don't know the rules, then definitely we will be causing an accident, whether it's intentional or not. The same rule applies for social media. Social media is also, it has certain rules, but the irony is we spend so much time on social media, but we don't know the the do's and don'ts, the rules that social media has.
Right,
My simple take is: have you ever read the terms and conditions of any social media? I'm sure 99.9% of people have not.
Not
They have just agreed to
aware
those
about it.
terms and conditions.
Yes.
But the reality is, if you don't know the do's and don'ts, then definitely, intentionally or not intentionally,
Right.
you will definitely be indulged in an accident, which we call as a cyber crime situation.
Right, right. It will be a harmful act for you, but we all, take that checkbox of terms and conditions and make our account on social media handles. Nowadays, so many social media platforms are available. So the next question should be that what precautions do users on social media need to take, to protect themselves from victims of social media crimes?
Well, it's very much simple. Number one, as I said, don't post excessively everything.
Right.
There's no need to put every single detail about you. Number one. Number two, whenever you are posting anything about your trip, maybe you are going somewhere or any specifically this is for people who post about where they are right now. Like we must have you guys must have know about this feature in Facebook where you can just say that okay, I have landed in maybe Thailand or I have left from New Delhi. Don't do that. Why? Because you are giving the live traces of you, and that live traces can actually become a very good source for the cyber criminal that okay, this person is going to Thailand, he or she will not be looking at his social media, so let's attack that social media. So these kind of things can happen. Number three, don't entertain unknown people. Specifically, if you don't know, don't let them follow you. You don't know who is on the other side.
Right.
And number four, just be due diligent of the terms and conditions. And as I say, when you know the rules of the game, then you can play the game very much in a proper manner.
Agreed, agreed. Thank you very much for this wonderful answer, and I must say this is the easiest one. So let's move ahead. Next question we have received from Mr. Kunal Kochar. He asked how to combat misinformation.
Well, thank you, Kunal, for the question. So, misinformation, one term which comes to my mind is called the WhatsApp University. We all
right.
have the WhatsApp University where it simply is that any information which comes on WhatsApp, we believe that okay, this is true. This is the basic truth, and nothing can defy this. But as I say, misinformation can only be stopped when you know that misinformation takes place. So a clear example is WhatsApp. Whenever any information comes over the WhatsApp, please don't believe it. The human tendency is that okay to believe it straight away without even applying our minds. Don't believe it. You're just one click away. Any news that comes, just put that on Google, and on the front page you'll get to know whether that information is false or true. Just spending about, I think, 30 seconds can save you from these situations of misinformation.
Right, right. Okay, one more question I have. How much sensitive data, like personal data or financial data is very important for us? People, sometimes they share on social media platforms, those things which should not be. So what is your stand on it?
Well, as I said earlier as well, that we share every personal thing,
Right.
which we should not. Every personal thing. Okay, we live at this place. We will go at this place. We work at this place. We are getting married to this person. If you are giving every personal information to the cyber criminal, then that becomes just a cakewalk for him, because he has nothing to do. He has to just sit and relax, and you will give all the required information to that person. So as I'm saying, don't share anything personal on social media. You can be generic, you can share about your trips and different things. And again, I'm saying, when I say trips, do it. For example, if you're traveling this weekend, then post these things after a week of your trip, and you're back in your home.
Right.
Because that won't give your life traces, and that won't be any much harmful for you.
Right.
So nothing personal, especially anything which is very secretive in nature, that should never, I repeat, that should never be shared on social media. And this social media includes WhatsApp as well. Don't share your personal things on WhatsApp. Don't share your Aadhaar number, your bank details over WhatsApp, because that's also not safe. try to share it via platforms like maybe see, ideally offline is the best mode, but still using an email will be a better option than WhatsApp for
Right,
sure.
right. Agreed. People, nowadays they scare, to share such things on WhatsApp. They try to reach to the concerned firm through the email, as you rightly mentioned. Thank you very much. So one more, I think the last question of this session. Suppose if I am anonymous on social media network, so is it okay, or maybe so that I can say that I cannot be tracked, but my account is still exists and I have uploaded some of my details, while making the account. So what is this all about?
Well, the reality reality is that every single person can be tracked. It's
Okay.
not about if you're anonymous or not. You are on the internet.
Huh.
You are connected to that technology, and you can definitely be tracked. And that is the reason where every cyber bully who tries to be smart, he or she just hides their identity, makes a fake account, and they act smart. They try to bully others. They also get tracked. Because so at the end of the day, internet, don't take internet for granted. Nothing gets deleted on the internet. You can definitely get tracked. So better play the rules than break the rules, because if you break the rules, then definitely you're asking for trouble, if not anything else.
Right, right. People are watching this session live and they are sending, many questions, but I can take hardly one question. I think we have hardly 2-3 minutes. So Babita Rani is sent a question that yesterday I got one WhatsApp message from unknown person. It was saying about a share market. So I blocked that number. Is it safe or not?
Well, thank you first of all for doing that, because a lot of people don't block these kind of texts. Hearing share market rings a bell. Okay, money.
Yes.
If money rings a bell, then definitely you will talk to that person.
Right.
But thank you for that. You by reading the message, you know that okay, maybe this interests me, but I don't know the person. I don't know where this number has come from, and you
Right.
think that this source is not authenticated. Then definitely blocking the person is the best solution.
Okay, so Babita ji, you did right. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'm sure we should thank Mr. Sakshar Duggal for this wonderful session, and it is a deep dive into the world of cyber crimes, and this is really, really wonderful to know the details and to make sure that we are safe in this cyberspace. Thank you, Mr. Sakshar. You have given us time, and you prepare these things for us. Thank you very much for this wonderful time.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas. We are celebrating with Cyber Peace Foundation. मैं आप सबका ध्यान यहाँ पर आकर्षित करना चाहूँगा. देखिए, ये एक अवेयरनेस है. अभी साक्षर जी ने जितनी भी इन्फॉर्मेशन दी है, जाहिर सी बात है कि वो बहुत उन्होंने टाइम लगाया होगा उसको इकट्ठा करने में और आपके लिए लेकर आए हैं. इट इज़ जस्ट अबाउट द अवेयरनेस एज वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग साइबर जागरूकता दिवस. लेट्स वॉच दिस पेज ऑन द स्क्रीन. सो दिस इज द साइट ऑफ सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी CIET, जैसा कि हमारा ये प्रोडक्शन आप देख रहे हैं. इसमें आप देखेंगे कि कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग थ्रू ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग एंड वर्चुअल वर्कशॉप्स. These are the current activities on the right side of the screen. So CIET NCERT conducts online training to promote use of technology in teaching and learning processes. So मैं आप सभी से ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि यहाँ पर जो भी हमारे सेशंस होते हैं उनकी डिटेल्स होती है और ऐसी ट्रेनिंग और वर्कशॉप्स के लिए आप इसमें एनरोलमेंट भी कर सकते हैं. अपकमिंग एक्टिविटीज़ भी दिखाई देंगे आपको, जो कंप्लीटेड एक्टिविटीज़ हैं वो भी, और जो करेंट एक्टिविटी जैसे कि ये साइबर जागरूकता दिवस थीम फॉर नवंबर 2022 सोशल मीडिया सेफ्टी एंड वेलबीइंग. इस पर जब आप क्लिक करेंगे तो यू विल लैंड ऑन दिस पेज ऑन विच Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas is mentioned, organized by CIET NCERT in collaboration with the Cyber Peace Foundation. Safety and well-being. So this is the vast topic, and this is our responsibility to think about it, know about it, and act properly. And I'm sure ऐसा जब आप करेंगे तो ज़रूर आपको इसका प्रॉफिट होगा. हम एक बार फिर साइबर पीस फाउंडेशन और मिस्टर साक्षर दुग्गल को धन्यवाद करते हैं, ताकि हमारा ये जो सेशन है फ्रूटफुल रहे और आप सब इसे जब चाहें यूट्यूब पर हमारे चैनल पर फिर से देख सकते हैं. NCERT ऑफिशियल पर ये अवेलेबल रहने वाला है. सो डियर लर्नर्स, दिस वेबिनार सेशन कम्स टू एन एंड नाउ. डोंट गो अवे, कीप वॉचिंग. वील बी राइट बैक विद द नेक्स्ट सेशन ऑफ सहयोग. कीप वॉचिंग PME विद्या चैनल्स. नमस्कार.